I revenge dated a black guy to piss off my racist dad for being a PP to my black best friend. Now I'm falling in love. There are a few things me and my dad definitely don't align on. One thing is how color would determine who you are as a person. My dad is great, except he has always been a bit racist, and a while ago he went too far. His racist comments about my best friend pushed me over the edge, so I decided to teach him a lesson he'll never forget. Let me paint the picture. My dad is that guy, the one who grumbles about how things used to be and uses phrases like "I'm not racist but," as if that's supposed to make his comments okay. And he is totally racist, by the way. He's stuck in some warped time capsule, clinging to outdated beliefs like they're family heirlooms. Absolutely ridiculous. And trust me, it's not just harmless old man banter. He's made snide remarks about my friends before, but last month, he crossed the line. It happened at dinner when my best friend Marcus came over. Marcus is awesome. We've been inseparable since high school. He's smart, hilarious, and has been there for me through everything. He even took the blame for something embarrassing I did in high school just so that my crush wouldn't find out it was me. But to my dad, he's just that black guy. So he of course had made a comment before Marcus barely stepped foot in the house, didn't realize we were having a guest, and then mumbled, "I hope he doesn't steal the silverware." Marcus heard him, but he is, unfortunately, used to my dad's comment and brushed it off, always trying to play peacemaker, but I could see the hurt in his eyes. My dad didn't stop there, though. Throughout dinner, he kept dropping passive-aggressive comments, that you know all the best basketball teams, and your people must have some crazy barbecue recipes. You know, it's not like this is new, but this time my dad was worse. My guess is something must have triggered him and now he's taking it on poor Marcus. I wanted to crawl under the table. After Marcus left, I confronted my dad. "Do you even hear yourself?" He shook it off, telling me to relax and that it was just a joke. Oh, then he called me sensitive. That was his excuse every time. Jokes. Just harmless jokes. The breaking point came when Marcus and I had planned a movie night at my place with some friends, but he bailed last minute. When I asked him, he admitted that he didn't want to come over because of my dad and that it was just exhausting. I don't blame him, but it made me feel both sad and angry. My dad's ignorance had cost me my best friend. I was done making excuses for him. For years, I tried to shrug it off, telling myself he was from a different generation. But that day, I decided if he wasn't going to change, I'd make him uncomfortable. This is where Chris came into the picture. Chris was a guy I met through mutual friends. Handsome, charming, and just so happened to be black. We hit it off immediately, but the kicker? He was completely on board when I told him my plan. Yes, I was definitely going to fake date a black guy to piss off my dad. Thank God he wasn't offended and thought it was hilarious. The first time I brought Chris home, my dad's face was priceless. He didn't say anything outright, but I could see the gears turning. Over the next few weeks, Chris and I kept up the act. We held hands, cuddled on the couch, and talked about our future plans, right in front of him. My dad was livid. He'd mutter under his breath, slam doors, and refuse to sit in the same room as us. Finally, one night at dinner, he snapped. "This is ridiculous," he barked. "What's next? You bringing home one of those activist types?" Gold. I smiled and said Chris is an activist. He wasn't, but who cares? My dad nearly choked on his mashed potatoes. But here's where things took an unexpected turn. Chris has been around for a few weeks now and my mom and siblings really like him. My mom even invited him to help with Thanksgiving dinner, and my little brother started asking him for life advice. It's kinda cute. Watching that unfold was beautiful and it made my dad's stubbornness look even worse. Eventually I had to talk to my dad and tell him he could either change or he would lose me. He looked stunned. Still being in character, I told him Chris isn't going anywhere, and honestly, neither is Marcus, so you can either learn to respect them, or you'll lose me too. For the first time my dad stayed quiet. He hasn't come around just yet, but he seems to be holding off on the comments. For my next issue, Tough, I actually starting to fall in love with Chris and now I need to figure out how to tell him.